Hello and welcome to another of our video podcasts. And today I want to talk to you about staying motivated. Now, when we're trying to make changes and improvements in ourselves, of course, it can take time. And sometimes we are almost bound to worry that we're going to give up and we're going to lose the motivation. But really, when it's worth doing, it's worth keeping the motivation going. So how can we do that? Well, first of all, I think we simply do have to accept that with things like weight loss, which so many of you are embarking upon, it's not going to happen by yesterday. Of course, some major changes do happen to us overnight. They're usually not pleasant. They're usually things like somebody we love has an accident or something of that nature. Things where we develop accomplishments or improve our health and everything, they can take time, and we just have to accept that. With the weight loss, if you feel that, really, this is getting me down, how long it's taking, I think you need a project to run alongside the weight loss project. I don't know, learn the piano or French or something. Have something else that you can pour your attention into where you're changing and improving yourself that is not just the weight loss. The important thing, of course, is to stick with it. Now, I know that some of you who are on the weight loss program do get a bit discouraged by side effects. Now, I'm not a medic and I'm not a scientist and I'm not the person to advise you about what to do about the side effects, but I do know that on the Slimmr website there is a lot of information and there's a lot of support. So I hope you're availing yourself of that. But when it comes to side effects, let me just tell you a little story. My husband was a doctor, and often a patient would come in with, I don't know, bronchitis, sinusitis, something like that, and say, "Now, doc, I want you to give me something that has no side effects." And he had to probably suppress a smile because there is no such thing. I mean, if a drug is strong enough to do something potent in you and to change your life, then I'm afraid it will have some side effects for some people. But hopefully they will be temporary and hopefully they will not be too disturbing. But side effects are a fact of life when it comes to all medical drugs. Leave that aside, then, what would help your motivation? I'd like to introduce you to two acronyms. One is LFT and the other is HFT. LFT means low frustration tolerance. HFT means high frustration tolerance. I don't think you'll need a degree in psychology to ascertain that the high frustration tolerance is more desirable. So people with low frustration tolerance find it hard to stick with things. A typical example would be, say somebody was studying for their A-levels or, I don't know, accountancy exams, say, which take a long time. A lot of revision has to go into that in order to get a good result and to then have a profession where you're getting paid more money, etc., etc., etc. Somebody with low frustration tolerance will be the person that when a friend rings up, when they should be revising, and says, "I'm opening a box set and a bottle of wine, come round and we'll have a nice jolly evening," somebody with LFT will say, "That's for me, I'll leave the revision to another day." And then they may even think to themselves, "Oh, I'll wing it when I get there." That rarely ends well. Now, LFT, as you can imagine, is not a good thing if you're trying to lose weight, because then you're more likely to be the sort of person that thinks, "I feel like a cream cake and I'm going to have it now." Now, that's the thing. With low frustration tolerance, people seem unable to project into the future and think, "Well, I'm going to have something more sensible now because my plan is by the end of next month to be another, I don't know, £6 lighter or whatever it is. And I will be so pleased with myself when I am. And so I'll defer the gratification of the cream cake now because of the greater good." That's HFT. If you've got LFT, you go, "I can't stand it. I've got to have it now." If you're a bit of a "I can't stand it" person, have a think about this. Question why you can't stand it. Ask yourself, why can't I stand it when a lot of people can? Ask yourself, am I so special that I can't tolerate any lack of comfort where plainly plenty of other people can? So have a think, really, it's tough for everybody. It's not as if it's tougher for you. Most likely it's not. So try very hard to forsake these days of low frustration tolerance and go instead for high frustration tolerance, because people with high frustration tolerance are able to say, I'm staying home to revise today because I really want to qualify and then my life will change for the better, or I'm really going to stick with the eating plan today because I know I'm going to have a much better life when I'm slimmer and, most of all, fitter and around for my family. So there we are. Stay motivated. I know you can. See you next time.